Well, this shit just cranked up to 11 really damn quick. Today we're talking this week's episode of the Chucky TV series, and that is episode 5, Little Little Lies. We're going to talk about the good, some of the bad, a few Easter eggs in there, and overall my thoughts on the episode and the series so far. So yeah, let's get into it. So before we get started, and we're going to Tarantino this a little bit, I have an apology. And I think a lot of us have an apology, and that is to Bree. Holy shit. I know this episode is called Little Little Lies, and we'll get to the other big lie that's going on that is blowing my mind, but this one, the fact that Bree has stage 4 cancer, was just out of left field. I did not see that coming. I'm sure, like everybody else, I would say probably 99% of everybody thought that this was going to be, she is a cheating piece of shit, and I can't wait for her to die. That is not the case, and yeah. First, if you watched my review for episode 4, you saw my light bulb moment, and I called it. The next flashback we're going to get is going to be Chucky meeting Tiff. I actually loved the whole thing with that. It's a little bit weird hearing Brad Dourif do the overdub on someone else, and then later hearing Jennifer Tilly come in. It didn't really gel that well. I didn't like how they came together, but I like the content of the story, because you think it's going to be Tiff because it's this blonde, and I'm like, okay, this will be Tiff, whatever. And then they show this other girl. I'm like, that's Tiff. That's going to be Tiff. Holy shit, how is this going to go? And that whole scene, I loved it. You should be Chucky, so we know that he gets the Chucky name from her, and she gets the blonde from him, and that they were just destined to be together in a weird kind of twisted fucky way. But yeah, that flashback, and I called it. Woo. The next thing I really liked about this episode is that we finally get Jake and Devin together. And what I liked about that is it was allowed to be all levity. It was allowed to just be a nice, happy moment where really, if you know Chucky and you know the series and you know all the voodoo-y bullshit behind the guy, you knew Chucky wasn't gone. But in the air of the show, you get this moment between Devin and Jake, and they kiss, and their relationship is culminated, and I loved it. I like that we finally have Jake and Devin together, and what I like so much about that, specifically in this episode, is that for the first time in the whole series so far, we really got a really big, good Jake smile. Loved it. However, unfortunately, I think that seals the deal on Devin. As much as I really hope I'm wrong, I think now Devin is going to die. It's going to be the tragic loss. It's not going to be Junior, which I do think Junior's going to die. But I think the tragic loss is going to be on Devin. And you son of a bitches better not do that. On top of all of that, the back half of this episode. I loved the back half of this episode. I spent it until credits with my jaw basically on the floor. It just, you start with the Bree reveal that she's got stage 4 cancer and that she's not a cheating butthole, like I said before. You get the whole moment of this is really who's Tiff. It's Red. It's not the other chick. You get the first look of Tiff and Nika together. Well, Nika Chucky in the hotel, and that whole moment. Holy shit. How the fuck does this happen? You have these bits of Chucky's soul that are split apart. Does that mean that they're weak? There's a lot of questions. But the fact that we're going to have this struggle now between Nika and Chucky, and that Chucky knows about it, holy shit. And then you, on top of that, drop the bomb that it's been 2 weeks since Cult. No time has been fucking wasted. That whole crazy shit just happened, and they're going back to Hackensack, New Jersey to do whatever the hell it is that they're trying to do. And then you end the episode cutting off the principal's head. There was so much on the back end of this episode that, like, the first half of the episode felt very episodes 1 through 4. It felt like this show. And then they're like, hey, guess what, fuckers? We're on the back half of this season, and we're gonna crank this shit up to 11, so fucking put your pants on and let's go. Now, I know I said I was going to mention some things I didn't like about this episode, but I kind of already did, and that's the little dubbing over they did in the flashback. Otherwise, I know I said it last week, but yeah, this is my new favorite episode of the series. What was so good about this episode, aside from all the jaw-dropping moments, is we got so much more development. We get a better understanding of Logan and that he's not actually the good guy that maybe he seemed like he would be. We got that Lexi's dad is a way better guy than he seemed to be and is tired of Lexi's mom's bullshit. And Lexi's mom, holy shit, does the apple not fall far from that bitch tree. Oh my God, it is going to be a pleasure to watch that woman get killed, and she better. I know I kind of have a thing out for the women in that family, but yeah, I guess Lexi can go now. Just kill her mom. And speaking of killing, Junior, he's going to die, but what's going to kill him is his curiosity. He's not going to be able to handle the fact that he's on the outs. Not on the outs, but he's not in this little anti-Chucky clique with Devin and Lexi and Jake. He's going to want to be in on that, and it's his pushing to be in on that's going to get him killed. It's going to put him in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he's going to die. It's going to be a sad death, but it's not going to be the saddest death. Another thing that was interesting to see in this episode was that Tiff still doesn't take Chucky's shit. Like, they're back together, but they're still just as broken as they were back in Bride, and hell, way even before that. I like that Tiff is not, she's still big, boisterous, and loud, and I'm going to yell at you, and I might kill you. As for Easter eggs in this episode, I noticed 2. If you noticed more, hit the comments below, but they were really small. The first one, well, actually, I'll Tarantino this. The first one was the curtain at the end of the episode was red with dark green stripes. Freddy reference. The other Easter egg was a Halloween 4 reference, and that was at the very beginning in the very first flashback, and that was "Fuck off, Dwayne," which is a reference to, in the drugstore, "Fuck off, Wade." Again, love the Halloween references in the show. Now, a couple final thoughts coming out of this week's episode. I thought it was very interesting that we got all of this information in only 3 episodes to get done with it, potentially. I know I said in my last one I thought there was 10. There's only 8, so there's only 3 left. Yeah, that's the math. 3 left to get through the fact that Bree has stage 4 cancer, the fact that Nika Chucky really is Nika and Chucky, and that they're going to be fighting over her body for the rest of the season, potentially more of the franchise. Are they going to kill Nika at the end? Don't know. Don't think so, but don't know. In what capacity is Andy Barkley about to come into this as well? We see it. You pretty much can't avoid it at the end of these episodes, that here's a look at next week, and then you're right into it, and I'm not going to look away. But we know now that Andy Barkley is coming next week. What the hell has he been up to? And the fact that it's only been 2 weeks since Cult, we saw him locked away. I really, really hope we get some answers on how the hell he got out and what the hell happened with the news coverage at that place where Nika Pierce all of a sudden disappeared. If Devin's looking up all this stuff, how has he not come across Andy Barkley escapes from a mental facility, or Nika Pierce, who said Chucky did it, escapes from a mental facility? What's the whole play with that? What are we going to find out? A lot of questions. Hopefully we get a lot of answers moving forward. There's not a lot of time. Does that mean we're going to get a season 2? I'm surprised to say I hope so. I guess we're just going to have to wait for episode 6, but until then, start telling your friends about the show. This is the time to start getting people on this bandwagon, and if you're just starting now, go back and watch all of them, because this show's actually been pretty damn good. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like. Hope to see you back next week, but until then, take care.